Most people think of Sichuan when they talk about bold Chinese food. But what if I told you the most intense flavors in China aren't in Chengdu? They're in a city most travelers skip. Welcome to Guiyang. Here, the air smells different. Not just spicy, but sour. Fermented chili paste bubbles in deep red broth. Pickled vegetables sit stacked in jars. Skewers flare over open charcoal as smoke fills narrow night streets. Guiyang doesn't cook for tourists. It cooks the way it always has. Bold, unapologetic, and rooted in regional tradition. This is the capital of Guizhou province, where sour meets spice, where fermentation defines flavor, and where night markets feel dense, loud, and completely unpolished. Tonight, we're exploring Guiyang after dark, from chaotic markets and rice noodle culture to the fermented dishes that make this one of China's most underrated food cities. If you enjoy discovering places beyond the obvious, hit like and subscribe. It's free, it helps the channel grow, and it lets me keep sharing cities like this. One street, one bowl, one night at a time. Qingyun Market, where Guiyang turns up the heat. As the sky darkens over Guiyang, the city's energy compresses into one place, Qingyun Market. By late afternoon, vendors begin setting up metal tables and portable grills. Fluorescent lights flicker on, charcoal fires are lit one by one, and then the smoke arrives, thick, chili-heavy, and unmistakably Guiyang. This market doesn't ease into the night, it ignites. Bowls of sour soup rice noodles are assembled quickly, ladled with bright red broth that smells tangy before it smells spicy. Pickled vegetables are piled high on small plates. Fermented tofu sizzles on flat griddles, releasing a sharp aroma that drifts through the air. Barbecue dominates the outer lanes. Skewers of pork belly, beef, and vegetables are dusted heavily with chili flakes before hitting open flames. Vendors flip them fast, sprinkling more seasoning without hesitation. The heat isn't subtle here, it's layered. Unlike polished food streets in larger cities, Qingyun feels raw. Plastic stools scrape against concrete. Locals crowd shoulder to shoulder. Orders are shouted over the sound of crackling oil and clinking bowls. People don't come here for presentation, they come for flavor. Families share steaming bowls. Groups of friends lean over metal tables late into the night. The pace is steady but intense, as if the city feeds off the energy of its own spice. This isn't a curated food market. It's a working, breathing part of daily life. Location: Qingyun Market, Nanming District, Central Guiyang. Price range: most dishes range from 10 to 35 renminbi, about $1.50 to $5 per item. Sour soup rice noodles, the flavor that defines Guiyang. If there's one dish that explains Guiyang, it's sour soup rice noodles. You'll find it everywhere, from small market stalls inside Qingyun Market to quiet corner shops that stay open well past midnight. It's not a specialty, it's routine. The broth is what makes it unmistakable. Bright red, slightly cloudy, and deeply aromatic, it's built from fermented chili paste and sour base. Sharp, tangy, and layered before it even reaches the bowl. The smell hits first, acidic, spicy, alive. Rice noodles are dropped into boiling water and lifted quickly into metal bowls. Then comes the broth, followed by pickled vegetables, chopped herbs, peanuts, and sometimes thin slices of beef. Nothing feels decorative. Everything feels purposeful. Unlike Sichuan's numbing heat, Guiyang's flavor leans into sourness first. The spice follows, but it doesn't dominate. It balances, it sharpens, it wakes you up. Locals eat this for breakfast, for lunch, and again late at night after barbecue and drinks. The rhythm never changes. Bowls arrive fast, are eaten faster, and replaced just as quickly. It's not comfort food in the traditional sense. It's stimulation. In Guiyang, sour isn't an accent. It's identity. Where to try it: Qingyun Market and small noodle shops throughout Nanming District. Price range: 12 to 25 yuan RMB, about $2 to $4 per bowl. Huaguoyuan Road, where Guiyang eats after midnight. As the night deepens in Guiyang, the energy shifts again toward heat, smoke, and rows of open charcoal grills along Huaguoyuan Road Snack Street. This isn't a polished pedestrian strip. It's loud, tight, crowded. Plastic tables spill into the street, beer bottles stack at the edge of metal counters, chili flakes sit in open containers, ready to be thrown onto anything that touches flame. Skewers dominate the scene, Pork belly, lamb, chicken wings, tofu, mushrooms, all lined up, all brushed lightly with oil before hitting glowing coals. But what makes Guiyang barbecue different isn't the meat. It's the seasoning. A thick dusting of chili powder, crushed dried peppers, salt, cumin, sometimes more chili. The skewers don't just sizzle, they crackle as fat drips into the fire, sending sparks into the humid night air. Locals don't rush here, they settle in. Groups lean over tables for hours, eating slowly, ordering more skewers as conversation builds. There's no performance, no curated lighting, just smoke, spice, and repetition. Unlike larger cities, this feels deeply regional. The flavors are aggressive, the seasoning unapologetic, the heat layered rather than numbing. This isn't street food designed to impress visitors. It's built for locals who grew up with this intensity. In Guiyang, midnight isn't the end of dinner, it's the beginning of it. Location: Erqi Road Snack Street, Nanming District, Guiyang. Price range: 2 to 6 yen. RMB 0.30 to 1 USD per skewer, 30 to 60 RMB, 4 to 9 USD for a full table spread. Zhonghua Road, Guiyang's urban pulse. As night settles over Guiyang, the energy doesn't disappear, it concentrates. Along Zhonghua Road, traffic thickens, storefronts glow brighter, and the sidewalks begin to fill. Shopping centers hum with activity. Street snack carts quietly roll into position near subway exits. Neon reflects off polished glass and damp pavement. Unlike Qingyun Market's smoke and fire, Zhonghua Road feels modern and fast-moving. Young professionals walk in small groups. Students queue for milk tea. Delivery riders weave through intersections with precision. The rhythm is urban, layered, continuous. Food still appears. Skewers near convenience stores, grilled tofu carts at side streets, small noodle shops spilling light onto the pavement. But here, it feels woven into daily life rather than the main event. This is where Guiyang shows its contemporary side. Not rural, not traditional, but fully alive. It's the artery that connects markets, malls, old streets, and new towers. And by 9 p.m., it feels like the entire city passes through at least once. Location: Zhonghua Road, Central Guiyang. Price range: street snacks 8 to 30 yen RMB, 1 to 4 USD. Cafes and casual dining 30 to 80 yen RMB, 4 to 12 USD. Huaguoyuan, where modern Guiyang lives. A short ride from downtown sits one of the most striking areas in the city, Huaguoyuan, Flower Orchard. At first glance, it feels overwhelming. Tower after tower rises into the night sky, thousands of windows glowing at once. The scale is almost cinematic, a dense forest of concrete and light. But at ground level, it feels surprisingly human. Plazas fill with families walking after dinner. Children chase each other across open squares. Small food vendors line the edges of residential blocks, grilling skewers beneath high-rise balconies. Convenience stores stay open late, doors sliding open and shut constantly. Unlike Zhonghua Road's commercial energy, Huaguoyuan feels domestic. This is where people actually live, cook, eat, gather, unwind. Street musicians sometimes perform near the central plaza. Young couples sit along low walls scrolling their phones. Delivery scooters park in clusters. The towers above act like a glowing backdrop to everyday routine. It's modern China without spectacle. Dense, vertical, functional, yet full of quiet life. If Qingyun Market shows how Guiyang eats, Huaguoyuan shows how it lives. Location: Huaguoyuan Residential Complex, Nanming District, Guiyang. Price range: street food 10 to 35 yen RMB, $1.50 to 5 USD. Casual restaurants 40 to 100 RMB, 6 to 15 USD. Sour fish, hot pot, the dish that defines Guizhou. If barbecue fuels the night, this is the soul of Guiyang. Known locally as Swantang Yu, sourfish hot pot isn't built around numbing spice or heavy oil. It's built around fermentation. The broth arrives first, a wide metal pot filled with deep red soup, bubbling steadily at the center of the table. The color comes from fermented chili and sour tomato base, developed slowly until the acidity sharpens the aroma before the heat even registers. Fresh river fish is added in thick cuts. Cabbage, tofu, and local greens follow. The broth rolls constantly, releasing a smell that's tangy, earthy, and unmistakably Guizhou. The first spoonful surprises most people. It's bright, sharp, almost citrus-like at the front. Then the chili builds gradually, warming rather than overwhelming. Unlike Sichuan hot pot, there's no dipping station stacked with sauces. The broth does the work here. Everything absorbs its character. This dish isn't casual street food. It's communal. It's ordered for gatherings. It's what locals eat when they want something deeply regional, something that reflects where they're from. You don't rush sourfish hot pot. You sit with it. You let it develop. And the longer it simmers, the deeper the flavor becomes. Where to try it? Local sourfish hot pot restaurants throughout Nanming and Yunnan districts. Price range 80 to 150 renminbi, 11 to 22 US dollars per pot, depending on fish and size. Jiaxiu Tower and Qianling Mountain, where Guiyang slows down. Not every part of Guiyang is smoke and spice. As the markets settle and the grills burn lower, the city opens up in a different way, upward. At night, Jiaxiu Tower glows softly above the Nanming River. The wooden structure, first built in the Ming Dynasty, feels almost delicate against the modern skyline behind it. Locals walk slowly along the riverbanks. Couples stop for photos. The sound of traffic fades beneath the steady flow of water. It's one of the city's most recognizable landmarks, but it doesn't feel staged. It feels lived in. Further north, Qianling Mountain Park offers something different: elevation. By late afternoon and into early evening, locals climb the paths for fresh air and city views. The higher you go, the more the dense streets below begin to blur into a patchwork of lights. From above, Guiyang feels calmer, less chaotic. The spice and smoke become part of a bigger rhythm. Elderly residents practice Tai Chi in open clearings. Groups gather for slow evening walks. Vendors near the entrance sell simple snacks and bottled drinks. Nothing elaborate, just enough to sit and stay a while. This is the other side of Guiyang. Not loud, not aggressive, just steady. The city that burns with sour heat at night also breathes quietly when you step back from it. Locations: Jiaxiu Tower, Nanming River, Central Guiyang, Qianling Mountain Park, Yunnan District. Cost: Jiaxiu Tower area, free to walk. Qianling Mountain Park, small entrance fee, typically 5 to 10 yuan RMB/1 to 2 USD dollars. Guiyang isn't polished. It doesn't soften its flavors for visitors. It doesn't package itself neatly for travel brochures. It doesn't compete with Beijing or Shanghai for attention. And that's exactly why it works. In the smoke of Qingyun Market, in the sharp heat of sour rice noodles, in the bubbling red broth of Swan-Tang Yu, this city cooks the way it always has. Bold, fermented, unapologetic. Here, sour isn't a twist. It's tradition. Spice isn't decoration, it's structure. And the markets don't perform, they function. Guiyang doesn't shout to be discovered. It doesn't care if you've heard of it. The grills will keep burning. The noodles will keep simmering. The jars will keep fermenting. Some cities try to impress you. Guiyang challenges you. If you enjoyed exploring China beyond the usual cities, hit like and subscribe. It's free, it helps the channel grow, and it lets me keep uncovering places like this. One market, one bowl, one night at a time. And tell me in the comments, could you handle Guiyang's sour heat, or would it handle you?